Well, Harold Washington had one of the most infectious smiles in Chicago political history.
Hard to believe 30 years ago on Thanksgiving Eve, he died in office. CBS 2's Jim Williams takes a look back at his powerful legacy and what young people know of the city's first black mayor.
For 17-year-old Kaylin Davis, her introduction to Harold Washington was a picture on the living room wall.
I thought it was my grandfather because I was like,
You thought Harold Washington was your grandfather?
yeah, he looks nothing like my grandfather.
This high school honors student is now well-versed on what Washington meant to Chicago.
I cannot watch the city of Chicago destroyed by petty politics and bad government.
He was a man who firmly believed that black people had the right to have their own voice.
Kaylin Davis knows the history. Robert Starks lived it.
What would you want young people to know about Harold Washington?
I want them to know that he's the best mayor this city has ever had.
Starks, professor emeritus at Northeastern Illinois University, was Washington's friend and a policy advisor.
I want to reach out my hand in friendship and fellowship to every living soul in this city.
He was a man who wanted to be fair to every citizen in the city of Chicago.
Starks saw the serious, eloquent Harold Washington
I saw him and he danced with his wife in Chicago.
and the joyous mayor who serenaded the crowd on election night 1987.
He was a down-to-earth guy who loved young people and children.
When the bigger-than-life mayor died suddenly on the day before Thanksgiving 30 years ago, millions were plunged into shock and grief.
It was trauma, absolutely.
Kaylin Davis, a member of the Mikvah Challenge program, wants a life in public service, like the man she once thought was her grandfather.
I kind of take his legacy and the things that he has done into the things that I want to do.
Professor Stark says he wishes more young people like Kaylin Davis, and he wishes they were more like her, I should say. He tells us many of his students know all about Dr. King, Malcolm X, and Barack Obama, but have little knowledge of Chicago's first black mayor, Robin Erica. Former President Barack Obama says he was inspired to come to Chicago in the mid-'80s in large part because of Mayor Washington.
So you're a young man at that time. What are your recollections of that day and of that time in Chicago?
I was in a newsroom and people were just shocked. And then people came to Daly Center across the street from City Hall just weeping openly, as if they needed to be there to confirm the awful.
A collective experience for as bad as it
right.
was, huh?
That's right.
Thanks, Jim.